Hello. This is Blackbird Magician, and today is July 10th. And if you've been here before, welcome back. If it's your first time, thank you for joining. Either way, thank you for joining. I am going to start off today, before talking about the astrology, just talking a little bit about what I've personally been feeling over the last couple of days. And you might notice, if you've seen the previous videos, we have a little bit of a different setup today. We have I was just feeling called to do this differently and come into it differently on top of that, which is, I think, major. I'm actually wearing all white as well, pretty much white and gray. I was originally going to wear something blue, and I just felt like, all of a sudden I was like, white is what I need to wear. And, purity coming into this, cleansed. I feel like I've, I obviously want to, I say obviously, but you don't know me, but, if you have seen any of these readings before, that is definitely my intention, is to come into this clear and, to read what needs to be read, and nothing more and nothing less, to say what needs to be said, nothing more, nothing less. And so, that was definitely weighing on me today, and in fact, it's actually weighed on me the last couple of days as well. And, this backdrop being white, I think, is just another, just one more example of that. I feel like when we come to this space, and I do say we, I want to be vulnerable, I want to be authentic, and I want to learn something from this as well, and that's really important to me. But I do come here to, hopefully to help someone. And so if this is finding you, and you're feeling aligned with it, then I hope that whatever message comes through, whatever feels like it's meant for you to take that message. And again, nothing more, nothing less, please. So again, sorry for all the eyes, and not to make it about me, but I definitely wanted to spend the last couple of days I kept hearing practice what you preach, right? And, the last several readings has been, especially the last one was really, it had that Four of Swords energy, and it was very much, a lot of the topic has been go internal to shine externally. And I think, again, I want to live that as well. That's not just me telling you to do something. That's, as much as anything, that's me needing to hear that, and to go about, putting those messages into practice on my end also. And no matter how good we think we're doing, sometimes we all still need that message. And I hope you are all doing well. Also the last couple of times that I read, it was very heavy. It was really heavy on me the last couple of days as well. And there were some things that were coming through that, I'm not going to say that it was totally not mine, but there were some things that definitely didn't feel like that it was fully mine to take on, as far as energy and even some thoughts. And so it was really important for me to rest and step away in order to get clear on what the purpose of this is. And, I guess that leads into the astrology, and I feel like I could talk to you more about this in the last couple of days in my experience, but like I said, I'm not really trying to make it about me. If it comes up, it comes up. And I just want to, express that, again, this is meant to help. So if it resonates, then amazing. I'm so grateful for that. And then, and if it's not meant for you, take it leave it. I mean, and, this is a really important time to practice discernment, and that does have to do with the astrology. So yesterday, Venus moved into Virgo, and Virgo energy is, I kept thinking integration. Earlier, before coming into this, I was cleansing and meditating and thinking of, what this is meant to be. And this is about integration. There's a lot of the things that we've been talking about over the last few days, and the last week or so, that have been about, again, I'm hearing practice what you preach, right? But, if you're here and you're watching tarot and you're listening to astrology, then I have to assume that you want some kind of a message from that. And so on my side, practice what you preach, but there's the other side of that is that, practice what if it's resonating, take it and integrate it. Virgo is about practical, tangible action, not just action. Discernment, really discernment. And yes, there's the, there's the element of, excuse me, organization and details of Virgo, right? I think that's like what we all know about Virgo. Well, if you know about any of the zodiacs, or a little bit about each zodiac, that's, a common couple of keywords to throw out for Virgo. But, this energy is about discernment and knowing when the crops are right to harvest, which ones should be left behind because maybe they didn't do so well, right? This is a time, and we're not in Virgo season, of course. Venus is leading the way right now for a lot of the other astrology, and will be, a few months away from Virgo season and as I record this, but this is the start of integration. And my books just fell, like, slightly. I don't even know if the camera picked up on the noise, but my books that are sitting here beside me, they're set up and they just slightly fell over just as I was saying that. And this is the time for integration, right? And then the wall is propping them up right now. They didn't fully fall over, right? There's a solid base catching those those little books that I just have propped up in a weird way, and they fell against the wall. They're still propped up, right? And so my point is, if you're maybe you're afraid to fall a little bit. There's if you're learning this practice, if you're new to this practice, if you've just started the practice, that's something too, this divine help. That's what is really, I think what, we're all on our own journeys, and we're all going to learn things differently in different ways, and we all have our own lessons that come through, right? And, maybe your lessons are different from mine and different from your parents and your friends or whoever, right? But ultimately, in this journey, it is about, if you're spiritual, if you're learning spirituality, which is what I'm talking about, that's what I am talking about here. I've talked about a few other topics, but for the most part, we're talking about divinity, divine path, spirituality. That's what is important to me and to my journey, and that's what I want to share. And so, if you're on that path, it's faith. It's faith and it's trust. And you know, knowing that the universe is here to support you and to catch you. And so sometimes when these transits happen, and again, a little bit of vulnerability from me, I don't have Virgo placements really. And so Virgo energy is very foreign to me. And so Venus in Virgo, I was kind of like, oh, great. No, like, can we just skip this one, right? But here's the thing, and you may not feel that way. You may have different, obviously, we all have different birth charts and circumstances, and maybe you love Virgo energy, and you're going to thrive, and that would be amazing. I think you're going to thrive. I think you're going to thrive. But here's the thing, is no matter what, there's always a lesson to learn in the astrology, and that's what the transits teach us. How to work with these archetypes and these energies as they do cycle. It's cyclical, right? And so today's Virgo is going to teach us something with this, Venus, the benefic, this supportive, the planet that rules our relations to our friends, to our family, to all others, to ourselves, right? And it rules love, it rules creativity. And what do we learn from Virgo? What do we learn from the Virgo energy? The discernment. Again, we talk a lot about intuition here, right? This is an earth sign, but this is a discerning earth sign. And it's very critical sign. And again, integration. How do we implement what we're learning? You can learn, sit in the lessons all day, but you have to implement those lessons too, integrate them, right, into your daily life. So, thanks for listening to the rant. That's what we were really going to talk about today. I didn't pull any other cards for the astrology. That was just what was on my head, my heart, really the last few days. And we do have some other, transits that I want to talk about throughout if it comes up, but, no more, no less here. And there's so much that's always happening in the skies, and we can talk about conjunctions, and we can talk about, squares and all the other, I don't know what they're called, I forget what they're called, aspects or whatever. And that's, there's a lot of information on that out there. So if you do feel called and you want to know more about it, we'll bring it up. And I might bring it up in the tarot if the tarot wants to tell us about it. But right now, I'm going to go ahead and get started for us. And let's figure out what does Spirit want us to hear. So, Spirit want us to hear. Oh, okay. Yeah, all right. I was gonna truly. there's a lot that just came out. Is really flipped out. I'm gonna rattle off a few. Strength did come out. Strength came out first. You can see the cards so much better over here. This is much more well lit. I really like sitting by the window though, but Strength did come out. I'm gonna just rattle off a few, but I think I'm gonna pull. I don't think I'm gonna really take these all. So we did have 9 of Swords in reverse. So releasing anxieties. Maybe you're sleeping better. I hope you're sleeping better. The last couple of days, I have to tell you, I was so tired. I was genuinely so exhausted the last few days. And it's when you have a lot going on, and especially if you're on this path and you're really open to the learning, it can, energetically, it can be a lot on you. And so taking that time to rest, right? We talked about that. And I was very tired, and really slept really well. But yesterday, I have to say, last night, I went to bed early. And I always know if I'm going to bed early, I'm really tired, because I just never do. I'm a night owl, and I like to, it doesn't bother me to be up late. I do kind of have a sleep schedule. I'm not somebody that stays up all hours of the night like I used to be. I do actually have a schedule, but I went to bed earlier than normal. And I was so exhausted. So anyways, I hope you're sleeping better. 9 of Swords in reverse. So there has been, and I'm not surprised, I know this, we've been seeing this anxiety, right? Like maybe time for release, right? We have the Fool's journey, getting started, blind leap of faith. We do have 2 of Swords, indecision. So still maybe a little bit of indecision still. We'll see what comes out. Temperance, we have balancing of, some opposite ideas here. Temperance is Sagittarius energy too, so having this divine, seeking divine knowledge, really higher learning, is obviously another piece of that. How to say obviously? I need to stop saying obviously, because some things are not obvious if you don't know. But anyways, so it is about, going on a journey, and it's adventure. This is adventure. So maybe you're looking at this in a more adventurous light with this Strength card. We're kind of already clarifying, and I don't know. I mean, we'll see how this reading goes. This might be a little different than what I've done before with Strength card, and then we do, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm gonna read you what I'm reading. We have 3 of Wands, but in reverse. Sorry, and I didn't show you the other ones either. These were the other ones that I was holding. The Fool, 2 of Swords, Temperance, 3 of Wands in reverse. So that indecision is affecting your ability to get started, to commence, to integrate, I think is what we're talking about today, right? Integration. Okay. That was a lot already. Okay, we got rest again. We got respite. I know I'm saying that wrong. I feel like it looks like respite, but I feel like I've heard people say respite. And I grew up reading. So I grew up reading, and I didn't always know how the words were pronounced until you would hear them out loud. And so I always thought it was respite, but I think it might actually be respite. Anyways, you might know, or maybe you don't know. Maybe you're like me. But again, it's in reverse, and there's a little bit of struggle here. Maybe you're reluctant to take a break, from the mind chatter. But that is, this was really relevant. This was really relevant in the last reading. You've got strength already. This is, with this, like, infinity symbol, this is infinite abundance, right? Infinite power, internal. And because Venus just left Leo, right, some of us have been feeling called to shine outwardly, right? To share our gifts, to be more authentic, to show up more authentically, right? And this put us in this strength. Okay, again, I will share. I'm a Leo rising, so this was like so exciting and fun, and Jupiter's in Leo too, so yay. Not Leo season yet, right? But this is this has been an empowering time. And maybe you've been feeling that, possibly, or maybe you're just starting to tap into that energy of strength, getting used to how that feels. getting used to how it feels to show up and be yourself and shine your inner light. But like I said, if you're on this journey and you are on this journey or you wouldn't be here. So when you're on this, oh my gosh, I just dropped a bunch of cards. If you're on this journey and you are, then you need to take time to rest and recharge and reflect and cleanse. Cleansing was coming through very strong personally for me, maybe for you too. And if you're new to this, and maybe you're not sure, or maybe you've just started learning, but maybe you're, looking for guidance on, well, how do I cleanse, right? And maybe you think it's this big ritual. I used to really think that about doing this kind of stuff, that everything has to be this big ritual. But that's not the case. You can cleanse literally just by showering or having a bath or washing your face or your hands. Like, it doesn't have to be, an intentional. Let me back up. When you have set your intention, okay, and again, please, use your discernment, but it doesn't really matter what you do. It's not so much the action as much as it is the intention. However, you follow through with the action, right? Because that is what this transit is teaching us, is the follow through. It's not just hearing, oh, I need to cleanse, and then never doing it. How do you cleanse? You might have to do a little more research into that. But, personally, I really love cleansing with water. Water is such a great cleanser. You can, again, if, most likely you're going to shower anyways. So when you're having your shower, you can set your intention there. If you don't have time for all that, you can just simply wash your hands with intention. You can brush your teeth with intention. And those are things that you can do that can help you reset. And I advise, do it slowly. Do it methodically, right? Don't rush. We talk about don't rush, don't feel like you're on a timeline. You don't have to feel that way. Take your time, feel the energy, release those anxieties that we were reading a minute ago, and walk away feeling refreshed, right? And cleansed in your energy. Your energy feels lighter. You can sleep better. You can go about your day in a recharged and lighter energy, and you can show up and be yourself instead of carrying other people's or your own limiting beliefs, right? And if you're an empath, and if you pick up on those things, then you might have to do it more frequently, and that's okay. Virgo's not afraid to do it. Virgo is not afraid to. And Venus loves a good ritual, right? And Virgo is about implementing. So what ritual can you implement? It can be small. Just a small daily ritual for yourself. Take care of yourself. And you can use other elements. You can cleanse in other ways. It doesn't have to be in that way. But just in case you don't know, it can be something you're already doing. Just set your intention. Okay. We have an Ace of Pentacles. You have the Magician. Oh shoot, Justice kind of popped out too. Okay. Okay. So, Ace of Pentacles. Justices, I'm not sure if that one was really reversed or not, but I did, when I flipped it just now, it was reversed again. I know I've talked about Ace of Pentacles before. I'm pretty sure I have anyways. Well, if I haven't, this is blessing, right? I feel like anytime I might say that about all the aces, to be fair. I do feel like all the aces are a blessing. I really do feel like they're all, you know, a lot of readers would say this, and I would agree, is these are very much divine gifts. So when the ace comes up, and of course paired with magician, wow. When the ace comes up, you know, just know there's something divine about, and I feel like I'm about to sneeze. There's something divine about an ace in tarot. And one way I've read it before is, just to share this with you also, in case you want to know, is that all of the aces, of course, hold, I say of course, back up, that's no better than obviously. In tarot, the aces are the kind of the holder of all the rest of the suit. All the energy of the whole entire suit are in the ace. So the Ace of Pentacles is, I was about to say the magician of the suit, but in you know, in general, this is about the suit as a whole, okay? And when we talk about, I don't know why I'm saying all this. When, I could just read you the card. When we're talking about pentacles, it's not necessarily about money. And I don't know if you've heard other readers talk about it with money. It can be tangible. But it is our resources, is what it really is. And it can be monetary. Money is a resource. However, it can also be our energy. Our energy is a resource, and in spirituality, our energy is our resource. It is probably our number one most important resource. Hold on just a second. Okay, my nose was like running, and so I thought I was gonna sneeze, so I got up for that. But also, I was feeling really thirsty, and so I had misplaced my water, and I looked for my water, and I found it. Maybe you need to drink some water. And we're talking about energy. And we're talking about resources. And Virgo's mission, Virgo's calling, right? This archetype does have to do with service. I think that is another kind of a buzzword for this sign. And I'm trying to talk about the Ace of Pentacles, but all of a sudden I'm just thinking about, like, how do we service for ourselves? How do we take care of ourselves? How do we show up for ourselves? Right? Tangibly. And maybe if you're thirsty right now, go get a drink. Go get some water. Water is very important. Very important. You know this. I don't know why I'm telling you this. We learned that in school. This is one of those things that, you know, I want to say, obviously. So, take some water with you. Drink some more water. I'm going to drink some more right now. I love water. Okay. Ace of Pentacles. It says, the crow lands atop a large pentacle. That's me trying to pick it up. Once concealed by clouds. The spot provides a clear view of all the riches available to her. Because her desires are no longer blocked, the bounty this world has to offer, from material wealth to spiritual knowledge, is all within her grasp. The Ace of Pentacles represents a time of clarity and the ability to manifest your desires. Stay focused. The law of attraction is working. Keep a fixed sight on what it is you want to achieve. And if you get clear on that, like I said before, taking your time, cleanse from the other, those other energies that might be around you, even your own, right? If you have limiting beliefs and toxic thoughts, it's also a really good practice if you're working on that. Something that's super helpful to me, if you start journaling, maybe you're already journaling or you're just starting to, you can write your own affirmations. You can look some up too if you want some inspiration, but you can write down your affirmations. The other day I wrote a whole page of affirmations and it was wonderful. And write them in the present tense, right? If you don't know that, just a reminder, if you do, write them in the present tense and accept it for, remember, manifesting. We talked about manifesting before. You have to believe you already have it. That's the hardest part of manifesting. And look at the flowers, the yellow and red flowers on the original, not the original, on the RWS Tarot, the Magician. Right? The Magician of the Suit, kind of, sort of, I think. I don't know. Maybe I read that somewhere. I might have. And then the Magician, you have that. There aren't any yellow ones on this one, but we do have red and white flowers, but still. And remember not to get so focused, just working on all of the suits, okay? Don't be so focused on just the pentacle, right? We have to balance the swords, the cup, and the wands as well. And that's where justice comes in a little bit. I don't know why I said a little bit. A lot of it. You've got the scales here, and I can't tell you if this was upright or not upright, but this is relevant either way. Whether you're balanced, maybe you're teetering between balanced and imbalanced, and it happens. There's no shame in that. I'm here to tell you. I told you already, actually. I had to take a few days and really get my energy right too. And nobody's perfect, no matter what you think about these people, and myself included, that you might, especially if you're learning online. And that's how I learned a lot. I've read books as well, and I've spent time reading, but I've learned a lot of, practices from online, people online, sharing their gifts. And when we come into this kind of space, we do want to come in right. And so I'm hoping that your experience has been finding people coming in right. But just know that we all have to go through these periods of rest to get clear, to get to that discernment. And even I still suffer from doubt. I'm not afraid to admit that to you. It's okay. You're here for a reason. Oh, okay. You're here for a reason. And so am I. And we're here, oh my goodness, we're here on this together. Sometimes I'm like, should I just stop pulling when that happens? I've already got so many. Okay. Okay, you guys here, whoever watches these here with me, and me too, y'all are quick. Y'all are fast movers. That's why this is hard for you. If you're action oriented, and you probably are, and I feel it, I totally get it. I'm like, I already told you guys before, Aries Sun, okay? Aries Sun here. Very action-oriented, you all. Not surprised this one keeps coming out. You also have Six of Cups crossing the Six of Wands. And what the heck? Your two sixes. This is how they came out. Two sixes here. So, you have some nostalgia, but you might have, this is usually reminiscing on the past. And recognition crossing it. Being in your, this is a little bit of a kingly energy here, right? And shining. This to me, last time I read this card, this to me looks like the sun. Okay, a lot of flowers coming out. And I know this deck is it does have a lot of flowers anyways, but a lot of flowers in the same kind of color here. We've got yellow, we've got reds, whites. I'm sorry. Your other card, I was a little lost on that. I was a little stuck on that. And it's kind of same again. I can't remember. Was this in reverse? I honestly can't even tell you. Seven of Pentacles. Okay. So I'm going to try to read this all together because they all came out together. So Knight of Swords, you might be working on this still. But you're someone who might feel like if you're not moving quickly, that you're not doing enough. Okay, and especially with Virgo here, as we are talking about that still. Okay, I'm not going to lose sight of what we're talking about. We're talking about how we show up. We were also talking about the ways of our service, right? You might be somebody who does not like to be, still, and you might always want to be doing something, whether that be doing something for your own plans and your goals. You want to always want to be learning or doing something. You're struggling to take a break is what I'm hearing. And Virgos, I don't know if you have Virgo placements, but that can be an energy of Virgo, okay? So we need to know when to rest. And how we can show up for ourselves. So we can ultimately, this is about us, right? But, you want to, for relationships too, right? Whatever that looks like. Your family, your friends, whatever that is. Show up for your people, right? Your community. Give back something to the community. That can be a topic that comes up around this time. Sorry, I don't want to get off track. But this feels to me, I'm feeling that this is somewhat at odds here. I'm sorry. I want to get this right. I shouldn't say I'm sorry. But your nostalgia, I don't want to say this word. You're feeling like, oh my gosh, I have to say it. You're feeling stuck on the past. Some of you are feeling stuck on the past and not ready to let this go, whatever this is. It might be because you still feel this happiness about it. Happiness. I don't think so. I actually think that I'm sorry, I don't want to be mean. Please know this is coming from love, but I feel like you're coloring the past with your rose-colored glasses. And that what you're feeling isn't good for you. Something here, the way this is crossing is this is the energy of, I know it's not exactly the sun, but it has this radiance to it, right? Recognition. You taking your place in the world receiving your laurels, right? Balanced energy, but something about the emotions tied to the past are keeping you from this, from crossing into this destiny. And I don't know if this is because of people, other people who you're comparing yourself to maybe, or who you feel like are drifting away from you, and so maybe you're trying to hold on to them. That's an energy we talked about a little while ago, one of the other readings. I don't even remember which one. But, you know, some people on this journey, you know, sometimes we have to move away from that. And it can be very difficult. Sometimes you find that it, you know, paths recross, but, you know, sometimes for a time being you have to be separated, or you have to grow on your own for a little while. And if other people are holding you back, or you're comparing for some reason in this energy, you know, sometimes the Six of Cups can talk about, you know, receiving a gift, especially if you look at the RWS tarot. Six of Cups, you know, it can sometimes show, a lot of the times it shows someone giving someone else a gift, and there's some sort of innocence there. Are you waiting on someone to give you a gift here? I feel like there's a waiting energy in this card, is what I'm seeing here. And then it's like these 5 cups are like holding these flowers. I think these are flowers. And then yours, the one you're sitting on, it looks like it's full of some kind of gold, you know? And honestly, these don't look like the happiest of flowers, you know, especially when you compare it to this white one. It's like these are very dull. I'm reading this as a negative, and this isn't necessarily, no card is negative, and you know, I'm just seeing this as it's a stuck energy. I'm gonna read this one. Okay. The crow returns to the place of his youth in search of finding his inner fledgling, inner child. He stands in the field of cups, filling his heart with healing memories of a time that was less complicated. If you have been feeling overburdened with day-to-day responsibilities, the Six of Cups brings a message to take a break and remember a moment in time when you felt free to just enjoy life. Whether it is a trip to your hometown or maybe a favorite vacation spot, it's time to recharge your spirit. The Six of Cups ask if you are clinging too much to the past and are unable to find joy in the present life. And that's, you know, that's kind of the energy I'm hearing, feeling, seeing. There's something here that's blocking your recognition, your radiance. It's literally blocking it. And waiting. You had this, all of this came out with the Knight of Swords. You have you've planted your seeds. You're waiting on your crops, your little sprouts. It's funny because, again, Virgo is actually about the harvest, right? But because you're still here, you want to fly. You want to fly. Why aren't you flying? Why aren't you here? I'm sorry, you're stuck a little bit. The seeds will sprout, and they will sprout in the right time. So I'm not trying to tell you this to make you feel rushed. That's the opposite of what I would want to do. I'm just letting you know that you do still have some, it's like you're at odds with yourself. Head versus heart, you're still at odds with yourself here on what you're trying to do. What is it that you're trying to do here? It's integration. You're at odds with your integration. You're hearing these messages, but you're not yet you're not putting it into action. You haven't created these tangible routines yet. Or if you have, you're still holding on to something in your past that maybe isn't in line with you anymore. And it might not be a person or a place. That could be just, that nostalgia could be your old way of being. Your old way of relating to taking care of yourself. Practice self-care, I hear. Practice self-care. We're going to clarify strength. Amazing. The 9 of Pentacles. Amazing. This is abundance. This is... You have the butterfly in the top. Transformation. This card isn't necessarily about a transformation, but when I see butterflies, I can't help but think about transformation, right? Do you see butterflies? That's you. When you see butterflies, that's your energy. You are transforming. That's a reminder. And by the way, we're constantly in that state of change, right? Especially if you're on this journey. If you've accepted this journey, right? If you've surrendered to this journey, you're going to be in a constant state of change. That's okay. But just, part of this journey is that acceptance. It's going to be constant. But butterflies are a beautiful reminder. I think that might be a monarch, but I'm not really sure. I'm not 100% sure. Oh, confirmation. Lotuses. Lotuses in the bottom. Lotuses are really cool because the lotus grows in mud. Lotuses do not grow unless there is mud. Similarly, the butterfly has to go into the cocoon and go into that state of gross, ick, this, I don't know what the actual term is, but the caterpillar literally dissolves. I'm sorry if I'm butchering this explanation. The caterpillar dissolves to reform into the butterfly. And then in the top, the sun, authenticity. And I don't know if this art's kind of hard to tell exactly, but this reminds me of like cherry blossoms or something like that, 9 of Pentacles has to do with, of course it has to do with abundance. I say of course. I mean, it does traditionally have to do with abundance. But look at this beautiful imagery and all these little details that have to do with beauty sprouting from these tough places. So this is coming after, by the way. I know it's clarifying strength. This is coming after. No, it's not. Yes, it is. But not exactly. Okay, there's an 8 first, right? There's an 8 of Pentacles. But, after that, we haven't seen Mastery yet. We haven't seen the 8 of Pentacles. But this is time. Leisure time. Time for your hobbies, right? I love wolves, too. I don't know if wolves I don't know if you love wolves like I do, but wolves are amazing and awesome. And they're pack animals. You know, you probably know that. But if you don't, they're pack animals. They're very cool. 9 of Pentacles. The crow, the harmony with nature, in harmony with nature, sits upon a wolf as the sun casts a loving warm light over the blossoming trees and abundant pile of coins. Unbothered by the bird, the wolf at peace represents a quietness of spirit and the ability to control one's emotions. In the distance is a dense green tree symbolizing a comfortable, stable home. The 9 of Pentacles may represent near completion of a goal or objective that will be successful once finished. It may also point to a life of wealth and comfort both materially and emotionally. And you're clarifying strength. So when you can embody this inner strength, okay, this is your internal abundance, right? We were just talking about internal strength, infinite abundance, okay? When you can embody this, and it's kind of funny, look at the two. Literally the one sitting on the lion and the other one sitting on the wolf. Isn't that so funny? I literally love that. And even there's even two trees. And this really cool field or whatever. I guess this is like, maybe this is a farmland or field or something. Oh, my nose is kind of running again. But anyways, I think that speaks for itself. I'm really happy to see this. I mean, again, I get there's still times, right? But let's clarify rest. Let's see how we can clarify rest. Okay, yeah, alright. Okay. Alrighty. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry for all the noises. You got a lot of cards on clarifying rest, so I'm not surprised to see this one come out. But again, I actually do see, this is the second time 9 of Swords came out in reverse, okay? So, this energy is anxious, okay? This is, normally when you get the 9 of Swords, you have anxious, sleepless nights, fears. This is definitely a block when upright. But I'm not surprised to see this, but I'm really happy that it came out twice in reverse. So this is meaning to me that you're settling with some of this. You've been reckoning with it, and maybe you're sleeping better, and I hope you're sleeping better. So to clarify rest, that's been what's been blocking you. You're still maybe working through some of that energy, and that's okay. We also had, along with that, Page of Cups and 9 of Wands. So 2 9s again, and then again, to me, this is good that this is reversed, and your 2 9s today in the same line. You're at the end of the cycle. I'm hearing, I'm hoping, I'm praying, right? Like, I'm literally feeling really happy. So, you should feel happy too. Congratulations. Like, it's okay, to feel yes, there are times of still, if you're still having some doubts or whatever, right? But embracing the journey, and Page of Cups is in reverse. And so I know you're still dealing with it. That's how I know you're still definitely dealing with this. Because you're not open yet to the sense of wonder all the way. Okay, you're flirting with it. But you need to embrace it more fully. And your 9 of Wands here, sun is covered here somewhat, not all the way, but there are some clouds, and these are palms, I think, palm leaves. You could still feel somewhat defensive here. Maybe you feel like you don't want to trust this journey all the way, you know, and maybe you're still reluctant to release the anxieties and to give in to hope and to wonderment and the inner child, right? That's something that you could still be dealing with here. Not surprised to see that, since it's clarifying Four of Swords in reverse, okay? But Guys, you got this one again. The Four of Wands. This can be a celebration. Could be with friends, could be with family, could be with someone close to you romantically. But to be honest, I'm seeing this is in my opinion, this is about you. It's not my opinion. It's about you. These journeys are about us coming towards ourselves, learning ourselves, getting connected with the divinity, the divine path, the divine inside of us, right? And so I'm seeing this as inner union, okay? Once you're able to take some time, get your perspective right, use your discernment, okay? Virgo energy, Virgo and Venus could be really helpful for you. I am seeing this as you coming into your inner union. I'm sorry, I keep taking it away and pushing it back in. And maybe that's what you're feeling. Maybe you're feeling it's here, it's gone. It's here, it's gone. But it's coming. And here's what you need to do. You need to still walk away from those limiting beliefs. The people who are, the situations, the patterns. This reminds me of the Six of Cups. We were just talking about it. And this is, crescent moon here, but illuminating those things, those illusions, right, that we need to work on and change, to shatter those illusions so we can see the truth. When you walk away from those energies, whether they be your own, whether they be other people, whether it be your environment, whatever it is, right? And I feel like it's all connected. I do feel like it's all connected. When you can walk away from that and separate from it, you get clarity. You get your clarity back, and then you can rest. You can sleep better. You can get your joy and your curiosity, what did I just say about this? This, like, embracing the journey, embracing the mystery of it all, right? Okay. We're going to clarify Ace of Pentacles and the Magician and Justice. So the Empress. The Empress in reverse. It's your time. It's your time to embrace. This is Venus, by the way. This is your time to embrace your... It's time to be creative. You're creative. I already know you're creative. Whoever you are watching this, you're creative. And if you think you're not, like, it might be time to start thinking of how you can be. right? And getting in touch with the inner child. And there's a lot of, wholesome ways to do that. It could be connecting with nature. Maybe start with nature and let yourself be open to the signs. Look at this love, this beautiful heart in the sun. Give yourself love, self-love, self-care. I think it's nature for you. You have cups and wands on the Empress here. That's amazing. It was in reverse, but you're there. You're there. You're so close. You're touching it. You're like dabbling. I feel like you're dabbling. And 9 of Cups, right? And this is another 9. You're so close to the end. This fulfillment that you're looking for. You're so close. And I'm not saying it's the end. It's not the end. Hold on one second. Okay. Where was I? So, yeah, it's not the end. I know that it feels, when we talk about the endings, it can feel really scary. And maybe that's what's kind of been the holdup, is feeling like there are things you are having to work on letting go of. And that could be your own, I just heard fixer pattern. Are you a fixer? Virgo. You might have Virgo placements. Maybe Virgo season is, maybe this Virgo transit, it's not Virgo season yet. Maybe this transit is really gonna, I want to say help you, but also work on you, right? Like, this could be really important. It's always important, but especially if you do have Virgo placements. But whatever it is, whatever patterns, whatever beliefs, that you're looking to release, again, when you're in this manifesting energy, which is the Ace of Pentacles, the Magician energy, when you can go into nature with the Empress here, right? When you have this fire, fire and water are both in this card right here, this one in particular. When you have that passion, balance of emotion, self-love, you inevitably would be ready to walk away and accept. Oh my gosh, I just realized. Yes. 8, 9. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, all of this is pointing towards your growth. When you've walked away, you're able to grow into this abundance where you have everything you need and more. Everything you need and more. And look at the sun coming out free from the clouds. I love this deck because there's so much sun energy in this deck. Okay. What did we have here? We had a lot. Knight of Pentacles, 6 of Cups, 6 of Wands, 7 of Pentacles. I really want to clarify this for you. You're coming into another 6. Oh my gosh. Well, this one was first. This is the 10 of Pentacles and the 6 of Pentacles. Another 6. This is balance, everyone. This is balance. Sorry, I was pulling it to the wrong side. Balance. 6s. And this is reciprocity. So remember, what you give, you will receive. There's a little bit of a cyclical nature in this card, because sometimes when you are able to give, you're called to give, right? You might be in a place now or later where it's your time to give back, right? Virgo energy. But remember, it's okay to accept as well when someone's in an energy and to give to you. You can accept whatever that looks like, right? Don't take too much. This is reciprocal. This is a healthy, energetic exchange, right? And this one was actually coming out first. And if you can't vision this yet, if you can't vision 10 of Pentacles, which is legacy, which is oh my gosh, you have literally 9 of Pentacles over here, 10 of Pentacles over here. If you're still having problems visioning this and manifesting this, it's because you're still working on your balance. I believe you're still working on balance here. You're working on this. You might still feel a little bit stuck. I'm feeling really good about this reading. But remember, it's okay if the past is no longer serving you, those patterns are no longer serving you, that environment, that job, that family member, that friend, that relationship, whatever it is, okay? It's okay to leave it in the past so you can get to this. I just slapped you with this. You can get to this. And then, oh my gosh, so many cards everywhere. You're in that waiting energy because you're either, and I'm thinking for, I don't know how many, but for some of you, you're being called to receive. Maybe for some of you, you might be being called to give back. Right? You're going to have to use your discernment to know which is which. And your energy today might be different from what you'll need to do in another situation, in another day. But you need to find this reciprocity for yourself. And if something's not reciprocal, that's not healthy. And remember, it's okay to walk away from that. And I think that's the, besides the self-care and the rest, that's coming through, that you have an attachment in your past that's blocking you. Still blocking you. You need to let it go. I know, I'm going to let mine go right now. Let's just take a moment. Have a breath. Take a rest. And it wasn't yesterday. It was the day before that. I had the locust come to me. It was in my garden. And the locust energy is about transformation, yes. Excuse me. It's also about when the locust comes in, they clear out everything. There's a purge that happens. And I feel this is really important. I know it definitely was for me. Whatever's in your past that's still holding you back, holding on to you, whether that's a habit or something else, you'll know. It might be more than one thing. Take it in pieces. But remember, the locust leaves nothing behind. And when you're on a journey like this, when you're open to it, There are things you have to leave behind. Okay? I'm not telling you what to do. This is just advice. And it comes from a place of love, and it comes from a place of understanding, because I am I'm right there with you. I say this every time. We're in this together. I am so grateful for you. I'm so excited to read with you again. This is, this has been very beautiful, and I hope all the best for you. I hope you are able to take some time. If you took anything from this video, just, from this reading, if nothing else, take care of yourself. Just take care of yourself right now. We'll probably talk about more of this energy, but more importantly, we're gonna move through it. We're gonna move through it. We're in this transit for about a month. So this is your opportunity to work with this energy. It can be very beneficial. And I hope all the best for you. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.